Career criminal Patrick McKenna spent 38 years behind bars and has earned a reputation as a killer, escape artist, and jailhouse enforcer. His family, in part, blames the system.
McKenna's been on Nevada's death row for 20 years. He has avoided execution so far because of legal mistakes made in his trials. George Knapp spoke with McKenna in an exclusive interview for tonight's special assignment.
I was in a bad mood. Real bad mood because
for the first time, death row inmate Pat McKenna is willing to talk on the record about the 1979 jailhouse murder that earned him a death sentence. The official version has always been that McKenna strangled his cellmate, J.J. Nobles, either because of a chess game or because Nobles wouldn't perform a sex act. McKenna says Nobles was part of a jailhouse clique that intended to do him harm.
And there was 4 of them. One of them had a shank, and the guy in front took a swing at me. When he swung at me, I sidestepped, put him in a chokehold, okay? I got him in a chokehold in front of the door, the cell door, which is about so wide, pushing his body against the cell door because the other guy's got the shank, his partner, trying to get around, taking shots around him, right? I'm using him as a shield for too long. I held him in the chokehold too long. I didn't know it at the time, but I think that's what killed him. But
the way McKenna sees it, the death of Nobles was self-defense, or at worst, manslaughter, a fight between 2 inmates. But he was given the death penalty for the murder. He's never told his version of the story in any court proceeding because to do so would open up the rest of his life and the many other crimes he's committed.
So no lawyer can ever put Pat on the witness stand to tell his side of the story. The district attorney is going to stand up and say, when you were 16, you committed this crime. When you were 17, you were convicted of this. When you were 18, you were convicted of this. When you were 19...
Ken McKenna is not only Patrick's brother. For a time, he was Pat's lawyer. In his first case out of law school, he defended his brother for murder. The McKennas lost, but later had the conviction overturned. McKenna has since prevailed again in higher courts, which is why he's still alive after 20 years on death row. McKenna thinks his court victories are part of what motivates the state to come after him so hard. But add to that his history as an escape artist. In addition to a bloody takeover of the Las Vegas jail in 1979, he also slipped out of Nevada's maximum security prison in a garbage truck. That while he was still a teenager. After turning himself in, he was stuck in the hole for 6 months.
And the day they put me upstairs for the one day in between 29 stretches, I escaped again. And me and 6 other guys escaped that day. The very day they took me out of the hole.
How many days?
We got all the way out. We got all the way out, you know, all past the fence.
The crown jewel in McKenna's career as an escape artist came here at the maximum security prison near Ely in the early 1990s when McKenna and another group of inmates came this close to busting out of death row.
I'm convinced in my head that I beat this place, this prison. These guys might not agree, but in my head, I think I beat this place.
The McKenna family says the state played a major role in creating Patrick. McKenna was the oldest son in an abusive family. His father was a mean drunk who beat up McKenna's mother, then would beat up Patrick. The mother heard of a new program, the Spring Mountain Youth Camp, which sounded like a godsend for a kid like Patrick, a place to get an education without the beatings. So Patrick was voluntarily sent to the camp at the ripe old age of 11. The experience would shape the rest of his life.
The reality of that camp was it was run by pedophiles and sadists who physically, emotionally, and sexually, we assume, abused those teenage children under their care. They would handcuff 13-year-old boys to the flagpole naked overnight in the mountains where it could get below freezing. My memories of after he got back from Spring Mountain, he was totally disconnected. And Pat, that was my brother, that we spent time together and we knew each other. He was gone.
It was the beginning of a downward slide that's encompassed the rest of his life. He spent 38 of the last 40 years in prison.
When I was younger, I had opportunities not to be a criminal. I made a conscious choice. You see, weakness, a lack of character, maybe the upbringing, but who makes the choice? Me.
We have to take responsibility as society for the people that we make. You know, we made Patrick McKenna the person that he used to be. He started in our prison system at 11, we put him in, horrendous situations from his early childhood on. I mean, he is a product of our prison system, and we need to take responsibility for that.
George Knapp, Channel 8 Eyewitness News.
Pat McKenna alleges the death penalty is a political tool used by ambitious prosecutors who want to run for office. He predicts the state will have a tough time ever carrying out his execution. A new appeal is pending right now.